Evergreen's mission, which began almost 20 years ago now, it's been about 19 years, related to the idea of bringing nature into cities. Reconnecting people with nature in cities where over 85% of Canadians live, and extends out of this idea that environmental strategies have often dealt with these remote landscapes. And Evergreen's focus is to reconnect people with nature where they live. Evergreen's exploration of the Brickworks began 8 years ago. Conversations with Bill Young led to our thinking that we could create a social enterprise, a project of the Brickworks that would be self-sustaining economically, that would generate the incomes from various programs on site that would support the mandate and mission of of Evergreen's charitable work, both locally here at the Brickworks, but also nationally. And we're on the cusp of finding out whether that idea really works. Evergreen's mission, which I've already characterized, Evergreen's mission about bringing nature into cities with the Brickworks has expanded, and we've opened up the door for the future of Evergreen, which will be more inclusive of several other new ideas that we haven't dealt with before. The broader agenda of sustainable cities, where if in the past we've all been about nature in cities, now we're beginning to explore transportation issues, urban water issues, housing issues. And so we're expanding the scope of issues we're addressing as an organization because the Brickworks is a larger platform for us. It's a very special spot, the Brickworks. It was inspiring for us with regards to expanding Evergreen's programs because it's a heritage site, it's an old brownfield site. It sits in the middle of the ravine system. And so those two ideas, that being a heritage site, as a factory, it produced 43 million bricks a year. It literally built Toronto. And so it has this history in city building that connects very nicely to our concepts about the future of city building. So we get to explore the past and the present and the future of city building all in this one space, and it feels very natural and appropriate, almost poetic, quite frankly. But it's also located in the middle of Toronto's ravine system. So Toronto's biggest asset in my mind is the ravine system. It's the thing that distinguishes Toronto uniquely in Canada, uniquely in the world. And we get to play a role in making Torontonians aware of this amazing asset. As a social enterprise, we obviously require certain incomes on site at the Brickworks to support that idea, and we've spent years, literally years, evolving those business plans. One of the obvious ones is office space. So we have about 48,000 square feet of office space that will be rented here to tenants, and we're pretty much sold out or fully leased to a variety of for-profits and not-for-profits, all within the realm of the mandate of the site, which is urban sustainability. So mission supporting tenants who are generating tenant income for Evergreen. So that's one big one. Another one is parking revenue. So we're trying to discourage automobile use, and we ask people to pay for parking when they come to the site. So it's an appropriate idea, but it generates a decent amount of income for us. Another one is event rentals, which is really temporary use of the space. So we're renting the event space to third parties. And the final one is a nursery. So on site we have a retail garden center, which is run by Evergreen, essentially selling the idea of ecological landscapes, transforming your front yard and your backyard into a little bit of nature, trying to move people away from these manicured front lawns and backyards with lollipop trees and manicured grass and move them into this more wilderness idea. And so it's a garden center, yes, but it's also environmental education center in the sense that it's conveying ideas around landscape design. Evergreen, for the last 19 years, has recognized the need to collaborate, the need to partner. In many cases in many respects, actually, ideally we partner with groups that are completely different from us. That aren't in our space, that aren't environmental not-for-profits. we will partner with anybody who demonstrates leadership and true commitment to an environmental strategy. And so partnering with corporations, partnering with different government agencies, and then partnering with other not-for-profits, but from in a different sector. So the YMCA, Outward Bound, are two good examples right off the top. And then corporations like Toyota have been keen partners of ours forever. And the diversity of that partnership base has helped us expand dramatically into what you might call as different channels, where you can affect change down these segments of society that you would normally not get access to. A unique partnership that Evergreen established about a year ago was with a company called Wholesome Canada. And Wholesome, I mean, it sounds like they make granola bars, but they're the world's largest concrete company. They're out of Switzerland, and we won an award that they offer up internationally for sustainable buildings. And the Brickworks won a big award. Anyway, since that award in Montreal about a year and a half ago, I guess it is, we've developed a partnership with them which sees Evergreen showcasing on site a whole series of innovations within the concrete and cement industry, which are actually fascinatingly relevant for the idea of green city building. Anyway, all of this to say that Evergreen's established this first large-scale international partnership. And we will likely be working with them on a variety of fronts going forward across Canada. So the project here at the Brickworks has given us a platform for a number of big corporate partnerships, which we're now creating. And I do believe that that's going to play out over the future with us affecting change within corporations around sustainability strategies. And when we partner with a company like Walmart, which is a hugely contentious one on some levels, I know internally they're making some astoundingly strong commitments and compelling change around their processes and procedures and policies. It's not well understood by the general public yet. It's going to be over the course of the next 6 to 8 years. I can guarantee that message will get out and they'll gain legitimacy in that realm. So we're a little early on that one. But the reality is, with 1 million people going through Walmart's doors each day in Canada, 1 million people, if we can affect change in that circle somewhere, far bigger impact than we can working with some small-scale local coffee company. The potential impact is massive by comparison when you're talking about social change. The role of innovation for me is the cornerstone of Evergreen's success. It's the whole idea of, again, continuing to respond to what you see around you, the cues you get from where society is heading, listening to where people want things to go and going with that to some degree, but then trying to lead them at the same time. You know, it's leading and following at the same time. Innovation is not just about being pig-headed and pushing your ideas down everybody's throat and kind of driving your own agenda. It's this kind of dance almost with other people around moving an idea forward. So innovation, about the creativity of it all, is half the fun of it for me. And it feels like it's a fundamental requirement for everybody these days. I mean, things are changing so fast, so innovation is desperately needed. I think probably one of the biggest lessons learned is the whole idea of listening, being responsive. I think one of the most important characteristics of an entrepreneur is that they're somewhat opportunistic, and that sounds like a negative, or it sounds like a character flaw on some level, but it's the fundamental quality of an entrepreneur where they respond to the moment and they operate in the moment, but on a more in a more nuanced way. It's about listening skills. It's about responding and listening to what's going on around you, taking your cues from the people you talk to who give you advice, making adjustments to your plan, being persistent, being tenacious, but listening and responding to the changes that are being asked of you, and iterating your plans as you go, and having fun. I mean, having fun with the whole thing. I mean, life's too short to make this, a drudgery. So enjoy the ride and try to enjoy the people around you as you're going through it all.